10,000. It's making some really funny noises when it does the auto refraction, and sometimes the auto fire mechanism and auto tracking is not functioning. It's hit and miss, and I'm getting two different error codes, and then calibration wise it is not calibrating properly. It seems to be a bit over. So we're going to take this apart and see what's going on inside. What we did is we took off all the paneling. We took off this big cage here. We took off the sides and that bottom. And then on this side we did the same thing. Took off this cage. If you see it better from over here. There we go. Took off that panel there. It's a lot of work to get the frame off, but once you do, you can access everything. You just have to remember how to put it back together. This is one of the more complicated pieces, so unless you feel comfortable tackling it, I recommend you don't. So you can see this lens in here is really dusty, and all the mirrors are very dusty, and then I'll film again after they're clean just to show you what they're supposed to look like. See that one there's got a big piece of dust on it. Everywhere. You see where I wiped it there, you can see where it's clean. I just kind of wiped it real quick with my finger. It's not a mirror or anything, it's just the back of a plate. But you can get an idea how much dust is actually in here.
Oh God, you are my God. And earnestly I seek you. Oh, how I long for you. In this dry and weary land.
There's clean. Everything clean back here. The mirror right there, behind the wires there. And we got that little sensor lens right back there. We cleaned. Okay, we have the calibrating tool in place, and we're dealing with a vertex distance of 13.75, which gives us a negative 5.14 diopters of power that we should be calibrating to. I don't know if you can see that. So we'll go over here to the screen. And I'll go ahead and focus in on that calibrating tool. And our measurements, we're getting 511, or there I was getting 514, 515. Go ahead and take the CT, hit OK. Go ahead and dump that. Let's do it again. There's 515, so we're well within calibration. We got good lines on our topography. So I figured out why we were getting some hardware errors, and what I noticed was the auto tracking was not functioning properly. And so I'm looking to see what auto tracking features aren't working. If you see this turning right here, this auto tracking motor is trying to find home, and it's not moving the head around because the bracket's missing. And if you look real close here, the bracket is right down here. And this bracket fits over that bearing so it can move the head back and forth. Just like this bracket right here. If you can see, there's a bracket just like the one I showed you for this motor for moving it front and back, and this motor moves it side to side. So if you look real close up inside here, you're going to see two holes where that bracket mounts, and that far hole has a crack right where the screw goes. So I don't know if a new screw is going to fit in there or not. It might have to be epoxied. But I'm curious to how that cracked and why it cracked. Someone worked on it or what, but we're going to fix it up, put it back together, and now we figure out why the auto tracking wasn't working. Okay, thanks for watching. So if you can see right up inside there, there's a little crack. And that screw is not going to hold very well. It's just going to break back out. So we're going to have to put a brace in there and some more metal and some epoxy to reinforce that screw so it doesn't come out. And just to be able to get at this, got to take the whole face of this unit off. So we just got this piece here, took that off, and then the shield piece, and took that off too. So that piece right there sits in there like this. One bolts up to those screw holes. So got a little bit of work ahead of us still. So we've got the bracket mounted back up there, and that's how it fits in the bearing. And that allows the head to move back and forth as this cam rotates. So we're back in business. We'll put it back together and bring it back to the customer after we do some more testing. Okay, so here we got the test, and the auto track works really good. You move it and it moves back over. Just keeps following it until it limits out, of course. But you can go back and forth and it just keeps following it, which is perfect. So let's go ahead and dump this reading, and we'll do a new one here. Okay, so it came out at 517. Let's dump that one. Let's do it again. Let it set itself back up here. Should just automatically fire. There it goes. 12, 14, 15. So we're right in there. I mean, that's just perfect calibration. Do the topo. Lines are good. There you go.
In the shadow
All done.
of your wings.
Yep.